Hello everyone, and welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and in this episode, I'll be explaining about something that's a little different. So, as you probably noticed in the last episode and that is basically when I was saying we're going to go off to the Great Bay Temple and things. I was about to go in there, just a quick reminder or so, on, night of the second day. Not a smart idea. The Great Bay Temple actually takes a bit of a while to beat and that, so what I've literally done is played the Song of Time, and then, got this temple back up again, and now I'm back to dawn of the first day at 6 AM. That is the smartest method to do this. If you try to do this on, the second day, or even, the final day, if you even want to be more of, a daredevil and stuff, then good luck. That's all I can say, really. But, one thing that I might as well show off as well, because I said I was going to show this off, but I forgot about it, is, if you remember that particular Zoran act called Japas, I think his name is? You know, the one that basically plays the drums. I'm going to show you how I found out that song, because, in order to get, heart piece and stuff, what we actually needed to do was, play a certain song and have a jam session and stuff. Well, I'm about to show you why, okay? So, if you use your hook shot up here, this is the reason why I couldn't get it before, because I need this hook shot to literally go up to the tree, or at least just, this branch or something, anyway. And go over to here, click check, it will say, can you read Zoran's script? Oh yeah, whoops, I need to actually, put on my Zora mask for this. I like how they do that, though, particularly. Alright, so it says, Mikkel, my diary. Today, Japas and I had a jam session. He's not good with words, but he writes great riffs. Here's what I played. Today, I had Lulu listen to my session with Japas. She seemed to like it a lot. Lulu's a pretty great girl after all. Today, I had another jam session with Japas. Even was in a bad mood because the two of us are writing songs on our own. Here's what I played. Evan called me over this morning. It was something about Lulu. He was in a real rush. I wonder what it could be. By the way, it seems my lucky color this week is green. That's fair enough, cool, yeah, but that's how basically I found out the song and stuff, because when you use the hook shot, you can go up there, and it reveals basically what notes you have to play, to the Zora and that with the guitar when you're having, a jam session and stuff. I actually forgot the dude's name, that's a bit of a shame. Most of the time I do remember the names of, the Majora's Mask universe, but, sadly not today. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd clear that up and stuff, just to save a little bit of confusion, as I believe now I'm equipped with, how many fairies? I should have 5, yeah, I've got 5 fairies in the bottle and stuff. Enough of my chit-chat, let's go on to the Great Bay Temple. Okay, so here we are, the Great Bay Temple. Pretty much regarded, or at least, according to the fans and stuff, as the hardest dungeon in this game, slash temple and stuff. Honestly, I kid you not, this is probably my favorite temple, and I honestly don't really find it that bad as people make it out to be. Although one thing to actually, oh wow, I actually do have arrows this time, that's fair enough, but I would like to stock up on some more and stuff, because, the main problem that people have this particular area is it's kind of similar to the water temple in this sort of way, but it involves using, pipes in the water and changing the current flow. And while that does sound confusing, hopefully by the time I get through this temple, you'll find that it's really not that bad at all, because I'm basically going to give you hints and tips as to what you should look out for in this particular place, you know, to just keep aware of things, because compared to like all the other dungeons, this is one where you really like need to look about, you know, for how it's designed and things to understand the mechanics of how like the water system like in this place works. One thing I would like to do though is light all these torches with my fire arrows, because that will lead us to the very first stray fairy. And why do I know this? Because you know, the Great Fairies Mask and that. In fact, I'm pretty much going to be doing that for the majority of this dungeon or so, no pun intended right there, where, you know, every time I get into a room, I'm always going to put on the Great Fairies Mask just to be double certain, because I mean, yeah, sure, I probably know where the majority or so for where like most of the stray fairies are, but it is a bit of a safer route, you know, just to put on like the Great Fairies Mask just to be double certain. Whoa, that's a huge water wheel. Indeed it is. Oh boy. So basically, this is how it works, okay? We're in like this huge water factory, if you will, and if you look over there, there's a pipe flowing. Currently, that means that the water is coming from the yellow level. In this case, when I turn this, it will now activate something, okay? Or in fact, it might do, because I actually need to activate another thing after this. This is the main thing, though, that actually turns on the water system. Hence, that's why, you know, it has two parts over it. If I turn this is only just for a demonstration, by the way, it shuts it off, okay? Keep note of this. So basically, this right here, this particular turny finny majig, I don't know the names of these things very well and stuff. I'm so clever, aren't I? But yeah, that's the main thing that activates it, okay? And throughout all of this level, you basically need to find each different one in colours. However, they only have one turny bit instead of two. This sounds so British from the way I'm saying it alone. So, of course, if I go down here, this is the one bit where I'm on about the one turny bit. If I then decide to push this, I believe it's this way. These ones, okay, compared to like the water temple in Ocarina of Time, that was pretty much one where you had to quickly put on, off and on, you know, your iron boots and raise the water levels up and down again and again and again. This one I honestly prefer, because as soon as you push those turny things, what happens then is that they sink down, meaning that you no longer have to do them ever again. And also, I would like to get this stray fairy actually before I completely forget about this one, because you see, basically when you turn it and stuff, when it goes down, like sinks down, you know, underneath it, that basically means that you no longer have to worry about turning it ever again, and you don't have to like do things in a certain order like with the water temple. So you see, pretty much that's how this level is designed or so, where when you turn some of those things, it doesn't really matter what order you do them, just as long as you actually do them in general, you know? Anyway, just to be on the safe side, let me just get out my Great Fairies Mask, because I believe there's one more in this room? Yeah, I thought so, because it's still shimmering, isn't it? Okay, whereabouts was this one again? It was... I'm pretty sure it was... Oh yeah, I think it was that one over there, wasn't it? I could be wrong, though. Let me just have a check. Yeah, indeed. I thought so. Cool. And there are rupees over there. Do I actually want to get those rupees? To be honest, it's quite a bit, so yeah. I don't see why not. I'm just going to quickly grab those. Nah, see, even though, like, you know, in other dungeons or temples of this game, they have rupees I've been skipping out on, it just depends of how convenient they are to get. Like, if you remember also back in Woodfall Temple, just outside the boss's room, there were, like, red rupees on pillars. However, they were guided by, like, skulltulas, and you had to use the Deku Flower to get them, and it took forever just to grab those particular rupees, you know, whereas these ones are nice and quick. So, even though I do say, you know, I like to collect everything that's available, it's only... For certain things like rupees, it's only just if it's convenient at the time, you know? But anyway, yeah. Also, I don't know about you, but I kinda like the music to this area, because it just adds to the atmosphere of being inside some kind of water factory, really. Particularly, you know, with the sound effects going on, with, like, things being hit and stuff. It kinda gives me some sort of vibe, similar to Oddworld, in that sense, because I'm pretty sure when you first started the game with Rupture Farms and that, in fact, most of the soundtrack in Oddworld is pretty much just ambience and, you know, just noises, really, but put to good use to create atmosphere. That's kind of doing the same thing, really, with, the Great Bay Temple. I was going to call it the Water Temple then, but still. However, notice how I said, okay, that yellow one down there is the only one that's available? Wrong. There is actually one right over here as well. However, those are the only two, okay? So, Two of these are the main things that activate the water system, and we'll find out why we need to activate this one later, because currently, okay, here's just a little hint. The other one is actually going through this pipe right now, and it's causing the currents to flow in a certain direction. The red one will change the direction instead. I get it. That huge water wheel is powering this thing. Yes, I know, I just established that with the audience tattle, but thanks for clearing that up anyway. Okay, I believe now there's a stray fairy, I'm thinking. Oh my god, I seem to be fast on this thing. Aw, damn it, never mind, fine. It doesn't matter too much though if you fall off, because you can literally just grab onto the edges like this, which is quite convenient anyway, because I believe there's a certain stray fairy inside one of these pots. Because I just need to have basically, you know, just look about the place also on these particular corners. Because that's the main thing you also want to do, you know, when you go to Great Bay Temple and stuff, is just keep having a look around and observing it, except I found it already, so you know, I don't even have to worry. Alright, cool. So, now, did I just come from this area? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, cool, never mind then. See, that other side over there I could get to right now, but the main problem is it's blocked by this, like, huge waterfall, and I will agree, the way you get rid of that waterfall later throughout this temple and that is very confusing. Like, how the hell are you supposed to know that? Because some of the physics in The Legend of Zelda don't really make any sense. So, of course, when we get to it, you'll see what I mean. But currently, the water only allows us to flow in this particular direction, okay? Just outside from where I was. So, of course, if we try to steer the opposite way, it will just blow us out. Meaning, all the other doors that I'm trying to get to, they're in the opposite direction. We are unable to get those, unfortunately, but still. So, of course, we'll be worrying about those later and stuff. But, yes. Anyways, also, you want to make sure that you have a lot of magic in this place, particularly with these fish. I hate how these fish, all the time, every time, it doesn't matter, like, how fast you're swimming or anything, they will somehow always just lock onto you and hit you, even if you try to steer away from them. It's like they're homing devices in that sense, but still. Okay. Also, another thing which I think is pretty ideal to know is the hook shot, but I'm pretty sure you would know this already, but just in case you didn't. Okay, the hook shot works on chests, so you can use that to literally just get yourself over here and then open this chest. And I apologize, by the way, if I'm being very condescending and you find that I'm treating you like a bunch of idiots or something for this temple, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I honestly think that this dungeon, or temple in particular, you know, gets a little bit too much hate for how it's designed. I mean, yes, it's confusing, I suppose, but to me, okay, it's only confusing, like, without paying attention, like, to the pipes or anything, how it works, and just assuming it's pretty much the same as every other, you know, Zelda dungeon, where most of the time you just hit a switch and move on and all that normal stuff. This one is completely different, and that's probably why I like it the most, just due to how somewhat challenging it is, but just, I don't know, it's just got like a unique concept in that sense. Okay, also, some of the doors that we are unable to get to at the minute, because later on we're going to find a certain item through here, and that will allow us to, I don't know, maybe walk on water or something? You'll find out what I mean when we get to it. And oh boy, trying to like navigate with the Zora like this with analog sensitivity is somewhat a bit daunting. Also, yes, when you get into this particular segment and that, it's only literally just outside, by the way, where that huge room was, where I was swimming about, you know, and the current was pushing me forwards. That is pretty much the only place where it takes effect, because, of course, in rooms like this, you have free will. So, of course, there's nothing to worry about there. Anyway, what I'm going to do is... Can I actually just melt them all? Like this? Yeah, it looks like I can, actually. Cool. I'll just do that then to make it a hell of a lot more easier, because, I mean, I remember in my practice file or so, what I did really is, like, cut them in half, and then I had to go underwater and hit them again, but if you just use your magic, it kills them in one hit, so, you know, that's actually rather convenient. And you know what, just because I'm lazy, I'm actually going to just turn into Link and use my arrows. And can I just hit you again from here, please? If it comes more forward, maybe? Hello? Is it actually going to come over here? Yeah, there we go, cool. And that's all of them done. Fair enough, fine. Hopefully I can climb up before it gets to the thing. And yes, there we go. I often like to do that from time to time, you know, when killing enemies, is just move on quick to where the chest is, because sometimes, as soon as you jump and the cutscene plays, that is when, you know, it will suddenly cause you to drop. And there you go, there's our 5th stray fairy already. As per usual, though, I'm going to make every like episode of his temple around, I don't know, like 20, 25 minutes, some sort of length from that. So I'm expecting this to be done in probably around 2 or 3 episodes, depending on how much I actually get done, considering, you know, the most of it at the beginning was just me kind of faffing about, showing you where, you know, I found the Zora song for how I knew how to play it and stuff, but still. Okay. Also, this bit's a little strange, really, considering the fact that these platforms right here are clearly to get over here. But again, you know, you can, if analogs will work with me, just literally get on over to it like this, and then open the chest. Also, oh man, I thought for a second there that mouse, particularly, you know, of like the bomber that's doing that in the background, was then going to freeze right in front of me. But still. Anyway, yeah, cool. So we get the compass and the map. Very ideal for a certain place like this, because in some particular areas, okay, you want to pay attention to the red triangle on the map, because that indicates basically showing you where you last came from. And I have had experiences in this place where if you go into the exact same room, sometimes you just can't get back out again due to the water current, meaning you have to redo certain things all over again. And that can be a little bit of an annoyance. And you'll see what I mean later though. Hopefully I've learned from it in my practice bar and I don't really have to worry about it. But honestly, I'm not really betting anything. Also, those things right there can grab you from time to time, so just be wary of those. I always forget what the name of them are actually. What I might do later is just check the information with Tattle, just so then she can, you know, scan it also. I suppose I could call it that in that sense. I know she's not literally scanning it in the same sense as, say, you know, Metro Prime and stuff, but still. Also, speaking of, like, Metro Prime, okay, so I'm literally recording this on June the 14th. Today is, like, June the 14th, and it's, like, 10 minutes past 11 or so. Meaning, just yesterday, okay, I saw Nintendo E3, and they made a big announcement. In fact, they made 2 big announcements, which caught me by surprise. One of them was the fact that Metroid Prime 4 is now in development, which I think is pretty goddamn awesome. And the fact that they're making another 2D Metroid game for the 3DS. Like, seriously, that honestly is really cool. That was the one thing I was not expecting at E3. When I just saw Metroid Prime 4, I almost spat my cup of tea, like, on my computer screen, I kid you not. I was that bloody shocked by it, but still. Anyways, I suppose, though, I might as well talk about E3 at a later date or so, because I mainly just want to focus, you know, on talking about how this temple works and stuff. But I suppose I'll go on to about it, like, here and there and things, but still, you know. I honestly do find it kind of a little odd for, like, convenience, though. Because, you see, back in, like, January of this year, that was when I did a blind LP, you know, of Metroid Prime for the GameCube, even though I played Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Wii. I did a blind run of that because I'd never played a Metroid Prime game before, and literally just after doing that, a couple of months later at E3, that is when Metroid Prime 4 is announced. Like, seriously, what kind of timing and convenience is this? And that's a good thing in a way, but I honestly just find that, like, wait, what? Really? Okay. But yeah, okay, so we went through that particular first area, okay? And in fact, I'll just show you what I mean by it with what I was on about earlier. Look, I'm trying to go into this door, and I can't because the current at the minute is flowing this way. Also, actually, just to get things all out of the way and stuff, what I would like to do is sink down to the bottom and hit this rather annoying pot right here or so. Because that pot, okay, what? Why did it do that? Oh my, it literally took me to it by complete automation. I don't know. It just took me to there automatically is what I was supposed to say. God damn it, I can't vocabulary sometimes. But yeah, cool. Never mind, I'll get that pot a bit later and stuff. I suppose it's not too bad in this sort of area. Because, I mean, you know, like, I can just, like, proceed on and at least get to the main stuff, really. Because the stray fairies, some of them, if not most of them, you know, you can literally just come back to. But still. Okay, so, in this particular room, you're mainly going to have to do this a lot in this dungeon, okay? When you see pipes, particularly ones underwater, ones that you can stand on, try standing on those and then walking up them, because that will help you get to certain areas that you otherwise cannot get to, because this one, as far as I'm aware, will lead to either a room or a boss. I'm pretty sure, though, it's a boss, particularly a mini-boss, and one that I honestly find quite annoying, because it takes so bloody long to defeat. Oh, and that's one reason why I got the key before from going underwater. Because otherwise, you cannot do anything about it, and it's the most annoying thing of all time. Okay. Yep, it's definitely the boss, though, because why else would they give us these parts and then these choo-choos, you know, full of, like, arrows and stuff. In fact, hold on, was Majora's Mask the very first game in this series that featured choo-choos? Because, I mean, I don't remember seeing these in Ocarina of Time. In fact, that might be the case. Unless maybe, perhaps, I don't know, one of the Oracle games had choo-choos first? I don't know, it's just somehow now I just think that Majora's Mask was the first to introduce choo-choos. If so, that's pretty good, because choo-choos are quite cool enemies. Anyways, babe, we're going to fight a boss. Particularly a mini one, and like I was saying, this one, boy, it reminds me of Goma, in a way, you know, from like Ocarina of Time, because it's on the wall like this, and if we stare at it... Looking at it now, it kind of reminds me of like some sort of raspberry or something. But yes, this is a mini boss or so where we have to mainly take it down and stuff. And one thing I would recommend you do to make this a lot easier is when Z targeting, okay? Just keep firing fire arrows at it, because due to explosions and stuff, it'll cause explosions around it. And then when these bubbles do literally come off, just repeatedly rotate the analog stick and then press the B button. I will admit, okay, even though I have complained about the Wii U's analog stick sensitivity, this is way more comfortable to do a spin attack, you know, on the Wii U version compared to the N64. Because the problem is, okay, and from time to time, when I'm playing, like, the N64 version of this game, when I'm trying to do this particular spin attack with the analog stick, sometimes it just won't work. Whereas, like, the Wii U, you know, given the fact that it's a lot more smoother to, like, move around in a full 360-degree pattern, it's a lot more easier, as you can see, since I seem to be repeatedly spinning around. In the N64 version, I had a bit of troubles doing that. Also, you can Z target onto other ones if you want, but still. And I actually want to be a little bit careful, considering I haven't really got much of my magic meter left. Also, make sure you get rid of most of the bubbles, okay? Because otherwise they'll be really annoying and try to hit you. And then when you have an opening, that is when you want to try and hit his eye. But in this case, I don't think I've got that much of a clear opening at the second, so I want to clear as much bubbles as I can. You can clear all the bubbles if you want, but you see, the sooner, like, you hit his eye, or so, like that particularly, after a couple of hits, you know, with a bunch of arrows, at least in this case fire arrows, because they do more damage, you'll find that they all just suddenly pop off. At least they should do, anyway. So hopefully after one more hit, suddenly all the bubbles surrounding them, and that will just drop suddenly, and then, you know, you have free will to hit him. Can I actually try this out? Hold on, wait, and... let's go. There you go. See, there's my proof. So you don't really have to get rid of all the bubbles particularly, you know, one go. But, you know, I would just recommend that also, just to get this guy done a lot faster. At least this is the way I beat it. There might actually be much more faster ways to get this guy down and over with, but this is the one that I've always done, personally. And there you go, see? So there's all of, what is it? Yeah, there's all the bubbles gone, and now we pretty much have to do the last remaining thing, which is wait for his eye to open and stab. Okay, usually I like to time it or so, though. Because you can shoot it with an arrow, but I honestly find it more satisfying to finish him off with, like, one stab to the eye. So, of course, I am going to try that and see how I do, except I'm probably not going to do that great. Okay, charge towards me. Ready? Okay, fine, I'll have to use arrows instead. Fair enough, cool. Because, honestly, trying to hit his eye in that is somewhat a bit of a pain, usually. Yeah, I honestly cannot do this. Fair enough, fine. Arrows it is. You've made your decision, sir. Alright. However, you can only target when his eye opens, okay? So, of course, I'm going to wait for a while, and ready? Gonna get my fire arrow ready, and fire, maybe? No, that didn't really work, and I've run out of magic. Well, goddammit, man. I was gonna say, if I hit you then, of all things, that would be really annoying. Can you just stop running into the wall like that, please? Okay, wow, it's going really well up until this point, is it? Kind of strange, though, given the fact that, you know, when you look at the map, you can't really see whereabouts he's going. It's kind of sad, though, in a way, because, you know, like, what is it? It's basically lost its mind, and it doesn't know what it's doing anymore. It's like it's panicking in this sense, you know, in some sort of unique way, if you will. I don't know. That's how I've always looked at it, anyway. Okay, can you turn around, and then... God damn it, really? Okay, let me just wait a while. Come on, do your thing. No! There we go, right, yeah, just 2 fire arrows to the eyes, and then that gets the guy down and over with. Like I was saying though, usually just a quick thrust with your gilded sword is enough to kill it in 1 shot. Sometimes I can do it, but it requires quite a bit of precise timing, to be honest. But anyway, yes, that is pretty much the mini-boss. I was going to say the actual boss, but the actual boss in this one is pretty ideal, actually. It's funny how this is my favourite temple in the game, and the actual boss in this area is also my favourite boss in the game, mainly just due to how it uses the Zora to its best advantage, and you'll see what I mean. But now we got ice arrows. You can now freeze enemies and objects, try it everywhere. So yeah, we got the fire arrows to begin with, and now the ice arrows return, and they're actually useful this time. Oh my god. Okay, so these were available in like Ocarina of Time, but they weren't actually needed for anything, for any of the quests in Ocarina of Time. It was just kind of an optional thing that you got, but it wasn't really needed for anything, not even any of the side quests and stuff. Whereas in Majora's Mask, it's pretty much needed to get through the actual main story of the game. But at a time like this, I reckon I'm going to call off this episode here for the first part of Great Bay Temple. So, in the next episode, we're going to be going out and then experimenting with our ice arrows. This was probably, hopefully getting it done by then, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So take care, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, it is 1 PM already on dawn of the first day. Jesus Christ.